No, you start. I'll go.
Oh, what is it, man? It's talking about like, hello, internet, how's it going? Welcome to Deshawn and Jonathan's sex talk for pretty much
The
like
fuck?
Wild and Wicked. And
Dude,
today we
stop!
are talking about the fucking idiots out there who actually believe that video games, or pretty much they have a very jaded outlook upon video games. And what I don't necessarily understand is the fact of why is it that people, whenever they talk about video games and they never do.
Before you continue, John, let me explain.
I never get that.
This dude from ESPN, when they were actually hosting the damn tournaments, he basically said that video games are not a sport, and basically that he don't want the people that be in their mom basement to be on ESPN. You were basically saying practically that only people that live in their mom basement play video games.
If they forced him to do that, he would forcibly quit.
Now, we ain't gonna talk about him more as he was missing his damn name due to the fact that Rizzo Review Test USA already did that story. But what we
I don't even know his guy. I don't even know his name.
I know his name. I just don't care.
I don't even care to know his name.
The thing is, what we getting at is when people do that shit, just be honestly hit you with a stereotype. Due to the fact that you play video game, you either a kid or you're a fucking loser. I hate when people do that shit.
People do that with just about everything else out there.
That like Richard said, like saying like if you like football, you're a fucking drunken idiot that can't count to 100. It's just everybody's not like that, man. I mean, even if a nigga do live with his mom, don't mean you live in the basement with your damn body. You got your own room most likely. God damn.
Or pretty much like most people, it's just a roommate. You up here, man. You man, like dropping down rent money, and pretty much like it's just like having like a normal roommate, which is something something in this day and age, which is still which is really bothering me.
That bitch got me
because I'm like, I got you.
I killed him.
But what bothers me about that day is the fact of like, if your roommate is a parent, then that's like a problem of saying like, well now like you living with your parents, so obviously man, man, like you fucking. You know
that's part of the same damn thing I made with girls. We talk about, oh, you live home with your mama, but they will fuck you if you live home with your wife or your girlfriend. Like I live with my wife and girlfriend or girlfriend. You still fuck me then, but you won't fuck me if I live with my mom, really. And another thing is, half the girls that do got their own place, it get helped by the government. At least the ones I know. The one that be talking to, oh, you live home with your mom. Well, bitch, you on welfare, and I got more money than you.
Yeah, no, but then again, man, like, it's just not like the common stereotype of being like, well, now, or pretty much it's also the stereotype of saying that somebody who does play video games a lot, you're always overweight and pretty much like you have all these physical problems or something like that.
Hey, your ass skinny as fuck. You play video game more than I do.
To be fair, to be fair, I really don't. But
you still play the game more than I do. You do.
Like a minute more. Back up, dude. Back up.
I already seen that motherfucker.
Your buggy buddies are coming up.
Miss him. Where is he? Hate these damn things.
Where are you? No, that might be the other thing. But either way, man, is that like that stereotype is really annoying. Oh, there you are.
You killed it.
That shit is so fucking. That shit right there is so fucking annoying. It's like, God damn it! So will you please stop like looking at like my hobby as if it's like a fucking problem, which is always bothersome to me because I don't know if like you seen that show when parents be up there, man, like ignoring their children for like small ass things, man, like football or beauty pageants and shit like that, and I'm like, I don't really get, I don't understand the fucking gist of it. All right, So pretty much, like, kid man can like want to get good at a video game, and they may want to make a fucking career out of it, but like people have like this social stigma about it of saying, man, like, well now if you do that, then man, you're not going nowhere in life. But
did your girlfriend,
like,
did your ex-girlfriend say that dumb shit? I feel like you ain't going nowhere like you play video games all the time.
Well, actually, man, she said that, man, like, she thought that I was addicted to video games. And I'm like, girls, like, what else is there to do here? Because to be fair, she didn't want to do anything.
Oh, you already did.
She wanted to just sit around and do fucking nothing all day. And I'm like, well, that's a bit unfair to pretty much look at somebody and saying, like, well, now all I want to do is just sit down and just play my video games and shit, or just like have like a moment to myself. But then that slowly turned into, well, now why don't you do this, or why don't you do that? I'm like, girl, I type every night. Get off my back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I type in my book every night, so leave me alone. But I mean, like, talking about her, now that's a whole nother topic, like all of them together. But either way, it's like a stigma of like I make him want to just sit down and play this thing, but then if it was like football or basketball or something, or pretty much or something like that, which is something in which that people making like
girl complain about that shit too. Like, only thing you do is just sit around and watch sports all goddamn day. This is NBA Finals, honestly. I be at work on my fucking cell phone just staring intensely at it.
Do you know what means to me though? Is that like no matter what, is that like if it's a girlfriend, they want the attention. It doesn't matter whatever it is that you were doing, they want the attention. If it's somebody out there, man, who doesn't understand the things in which that you were doing, meaning like, okay, I'm about to like put all my time into drawing, or I'm putting all my time into actually trying, man, to play video games, and it's more like an art form, or pretty much like it's a competition, and then they don't understand it, and then they're like, I don't know why you are doing it, because I don't like that anyway. I mean, for whatever that newscaster said, that was.
Well, to be honest with you, his whole thing is this, and I'll agree with him. Video games are not a sport. It's not. But they do take skills to be real good at games. I understand that, but it's not a sport.
Here's the thing about that, though. Is that, man, they cover NASCAR, they cover poker, they cover they also cover things which are not technically sports, because sports to some people is like a physical attribute of saying like, okay, get up, you run, jump, you gotta have precision skill to do these things, like baseball, football, soccer, stuff like that. Poker really doesn't have all that much, man, to do with actual, like, you know, physical skill, aside from, man, like, can you keep your composure when things are not in your favor? Can you bluff your way through it? For NASCAR, it's like, NASCAR, all, man, depends upon, like, the type of car you have. You know what I mean? Like, video games, that's an actual skill thing. I mean, like, just like poker, I mean, like, you still need to know a lot about, like, what, you still need to know the subject matter, you still need to have enough skill, man, to know how to, change up your style or gameplay or pretty much whatever as it goes on. But I'm like, you can't really be mad at video games, but then not have a problem with like, these other two mediums, which pretty much are just, like, small-time games, which really don't mean all that much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, well, now, those are different, because people are physically there. They are physically doing that. People can get physically hurt. They're, like, driving in, like, crashing or hitting a wall. I mean, like, that can hurt anybody. What the hell? What the hell? I mean, like, physically, mentally, I'm gonna say physically or fucking emotionally. I mean, like, that's just how this thing is. And I'm like, I understand, man, if it's like, I understand if it's not necessarily, man, like a so-called sport, but either way, man, it's like you do cover things that aren't necessarily sports either. And even if they weren't also necessarily sports, it's still competition. It's a serious competition in which that people that they put time and money into, and if they're gonna, and if they're paying you money to sponsor it, it's like, that's not a very like integral thing.
He said he would shot himself in the head if he had to cover something like that. He would quit the damn that world. Like, damn.
Do it. To be fair, man, is that like when you start saying shit like that, I don't feel any sympathy for you, because at this point it's just a tangent. Because it's like, man, that's, man, like, because that's like if you at work right now, right? And somebody says, DayShawn, all right, I want you.
Wait. Hey, that in this video be in part 2. I didn't know that. Yeah, 11 minutes.
Oh, pretty much, man. Because anyway, all babies out there.
Yeah, tell you guys, stay on here, rate, comment, and subscribe. Everybody start up part 2. And check out John Gray's show in the description below. He need the subs. He really do. Have a good one.
No, I fucking